this time I'm in the kitchen and I'm going to make a lamb tagine. Alright then, I'll start now. I feel a bit jittery. I always get jittery around this time, but then later on in the evening I wake up and become a much calmer person. I don't know why I get the jitters at this time. I haven't got a clue. Anyway, I'm going to start the cooking process now. Right, turn the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. In here is 3 leg lamb steaks. I think I've got the name right. 3 lamb leg steaks, quite small. I think this is about enough for 2 to 3 people, but it's going to shrink, so maybe just 2 people. I forgot how many grams it was, sorry. It's new to Sainsbury's, so, and it looked really nice, but I'm not really sure if it's stewing lamb, I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going to give it a go, and I'm going to cook it long and slow. Alright, and what I did was, I didn't have any ground ginger, so I had to use my frozen ginger, but it hasn't made it wet or anything, so it's alright. And I also used a teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of turmeric, 1 teaspoon of, 1 small teaspoon of ground cumin, and a few threads of saffron. But you can give that a miss if you can't afford it. But it lasts forever anyway. You only need a few strands. And what I did, I tried to break them up with my fingers, so do that. But as an alternative, well, there isn't really an alternative to saffron, is there? Can't think of one at the moment. No, I can't think. Anyway, that's what I marinated it in, and you have to marinate it really, it's best overnight, but I did it for 3 hours. It said 3 hours till 2 a day, so 3 hours. Alright, I'm gonna cook the meat first. So I'm gonna put the oven on, the cooker on, and heat the oil up. You can use olive oil if you want. I've just used rice bran oil, my favourite. Right. I want it quite high, but I don't want to scorch the meat because it's got spices. It's more likely to get, you know, scorched, so you have to be careful. And you have to check it regularly while it's cooking so it doesn't stick and burn. I'm just waiting for the oil to heat up a bit. I've got it on a medium to high temperature. I want it nice and hot before I put the meat in. Oh, should I be pausing it? I don't know. No, I'll probably end up turning it off. I will be pausing it at some point, obviously, because you won't want to watch a pot boiling for 2 hours. Or simmering, rather. Just drinking a cup of tea. I was going to have a coffee, but I've already had 2 cups. I think that's enough. Just get some spoons out. A spoon. I've got everything I need to hand. We're going to be having it with couscous, but I'm not going to show you how to make that because you probably know that already. It's quite simple. Just add boiling water and then let it sit for a certain amount of time, 5 minutes or so, or maybe less, can't remember. I got 2 packets of couscous, but I only need 1. It's flavoured with coriander and something else, lime, not sure, can't remember. I think I've just finished my tea, and I think then the meat is ready to go in. I used, sorry about my voice, I used about 1 tablespoon of oil, but I don't measure it, I just use my eyes, I mean. Oh, I wish I was more articulate. Okay. Finished. Alright, I'm going to put the meat in now. I'm not sure if it's going to sizzle. Oh, good. And you just cook it until it's like coloured, browned. Actually, I might move the camera down a bit. That's better, isn't it? Smells really nice. It's looking good. Yeah, the saffron, I don't want that to burn. I can still see the threads. In a minute, I'm just going to turn the heat off because it'll take a while for it to go down anyway, the temperature. Yeah, I know. This is quite a robust pan, so you can use a metal spoon if you're careful. It's got no scratch marks in it. It's my favourite pan. What was it? Teflon? No, it's Go Cook is the company name, Go Cook. To me, that sort of cooked, partially cooked, I mean, well, you couldn't eat it now, obviously. It's going to go back in the pan. Alright. I'll just turn that off, because the thermostat's odd, so I've just turned it off for a minute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on here, kitchen roll, just to drain off a bit. I won't need to add any oil because a lot of oil came out of the lamb. You probably can't see what I'm doing. I'm just getting the meat out, piece at a time, or 2 pieces, and just draining it on this paper, kitchen roll. Spread it out so it can really dry out a little bit. Any pieces are left over lamb, well, I think they can stay in there, but be watchful as you're doing the next stage of the cooking, which is the onions and garlic. And I will be using frozen onions and frozen garlic as per usual. It's quite a lot of oil from the lamb. It's quite oily actually. It wasn't too fatty though, really. Just one piece was a little bit fatty, but I don't mind. There. It looks nice. I think I might put the camera towards it so you can see what it looks like. Or I can bring it towards you. Oh, see, this webcam's not very good. It's actually orangey looking. Trust me. All my food must look sort of grey, you know, and boring. Alright, I'm going to put the onions in next on a lowish heat. I don't want anything charring. First the onions. Frozen. I told you about that before, why I like using frozen onions. It's because the supermarkets sell, well, dubious onions. Dubious looking, and sometimes give me a horrible surprise when I cut into them. Right, this is hot enough already. You need quite a lot because they're frozen. They're covered in ice. Start mixing that in with the juices of the meat. Oh, it's smelling good already. Oh, it's lovely. Just got to keep an eye on it though. I suppose this is a bit of a waste of money. I never used to use frozen stuff. But a lot of my veg is frozen. I just think it's better for you. Healthier. Yeah, I'm a fan of frozen foods. Okay. I'll get a garlic clove ready. It's not sizzling much. Come on. I'll have to turn it up a bit. That bleeping noise is my freezer. If you're a British person, you will find this in your supermarket, Tesco's or Sainsbury's, or I don't know about the others, but they should have a freezer section with Indian food, and I get these, and you can buy these in Indian grocers and Turkish grocers as well. That's meant to be 1 clove of garlic, but I think it's more than that. Maybe a giant clove. Yeah. It's better than peeling. Oh, some garlic takes ages to peel, doesn't it? These are browning up already. Well, it's the actual spices that are making them look brown. These actually take a long time to brown. These frozen ones. Alright, I'm going to put the garlic in now. I didn't really need to put it in a container, did I? Okay. That just needs a rinse, really. Don't have to wash it up, really. Just rinse it out a few times. Alright, I'm just going to melt this garlic. You can still see what I'm doing alright, yeah. Just keep an eye on the time. Doesn't go low battery. I'll have to charge it at some point anyway. Sorry, this is a bit boring. Should I pause it? I don't know. Alright, I'll just let that sit for a minute. The next things I'll be adding is ground cinnamon, a chicken stock pot, and it says 2 tablespoons of tomato puree, and I reckon there's about 2 tablespoons in that. And get a jug of water. And keep an eye on that all the time. I try not to use too much water because he doesn't like it when I make a stew or a curry, tagine or whatever. He doesn't like it if it's got too much water, because I don't tend to thicken it. I don't want to use flour because of my daughter in case she comes over for a meal, and I just don't want it floating around the atmosphere. I'm so paranoid she might get glutened. I usually, by thickening, I usually just reduce it. Potatoes in stews tend to thicken the sauce up anyway, but I'm not using potatoes today. What else is a thickener? I think pulses are. I'm not sure. Alright, let's get on with this. Garlic's nearly dissolved. Well, defrosted. Do you know what? I'm going to add the puree now. I'm not going to take up too much time. Should I add it all? I'm actually going to get a tablespoon. That is about four of those is about it's about 2 tablespoons, I think. Yeah, this is going to be. That's half of one. That's half of another. Yeah, the whole lot is approximately 2 tablespoons. Stir that in. Turn the heat down a bit. Yeah, it's red now. It's going red, obviously. I can't remember now if it was 1 or 2, but I'm sure it was 2 tablespoons. And I thought, that's a lot. But I'll follow the recipe as much as I can. Alright, it's getting a bit gunky now, so now some water, but not too much. I'll just go by eye, really. I don't want a runny stew at the end of the day. Alright then, let's mix this around and have a look at it. Maybe turn the heat up a bit, because it's cold water. It's a nice thick mixture now. Because, oh yeah, the tomato puree, I forgot, is a thickener. Yeah. Alright, the chicken stock pot. You can use a stock cube if you want. But I like these, they're full of flavour. Plus you get gelatine in it. And that's good for the hair and skin, I think. And it's also meant to help you sleep. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Alright. I think it's got gelatine in it. It is jellified. There. Plop. Just mix that in, let it dissolve. It's looking great. Yeah, I'm a bit of a show off, aren't I? I've been cooking for years, since I was 19, I think. Yeah, before that I didn't even know how to heat up a can of baked beans. Yeah, my mum never taught me and my sister how to cook, which was a shame. I think we watched her though. She didn't really want us in the kitchen ruining the meal. That's great. I mean, when you first learn to cook, if you don't know how to cook, get a student cookbook. And you learn how to cook the basics. And when you know how to cook the basics, you can cook nearly anything. Alright, I'm going to add the meat. Am I going to add the meat yet? Well, I don't want it bubbling up while I'm adding the meat. Just going to turn it off a minute. You can still see me. Right, I'm going to add the meat. I'm going to add it gently. I don't want it plopping up and staining my cannabis top. Right. They look like meatballs now. Right. Yeah, I had to cut the meat up with chicken scissors. But obviously if you've got a sharp knife, use that. But I haven't got any sharp knives. Alright, just get rid of the kitchen roll. That plate will be greasy, so I'll have to degrease that at some point. Yeah, I always degrease everything before it goes in the washing up water. Back on the heat. And I'm going to add a little bit of cinnamon. I don't like too much cinnamon, so I'm going to use a little tiny spoon like that. It's tiny. It's not much smaller than a teaspoon. So, I'll show you. Oh, it's going everywhere. That much. There. Maybe that's too much cinnamon, I don't know. It did say cinnamon stick. I thought, oh, I don't know why I didn't get cinnamon sticks. I got ground cinnamon instead. I think the cinnamon stick would have been better actually. I'll just mop that bit up. And that needs to be turned down. I don't want it bubbling really. I might add a bit more water actually, because it's going to be cooking for quite a long time. Right. Just go by your eyes. You don't have to weigh anything or measure anything out. So there's quite a lot of liquid in here, but it will reduce in no time really. Especially on this ring that doesn't work properly. It's the knob. Because the knobs, you just have to walk past the cooker and the knobs come off. And then it's really difficult to find the actual place where it should be. Okay. Yeah, what next? Oh yes. I'll tell you about these more in a minute. It's preserved lemons. You may have used them before yourself. And I'll tell you how I prepared them, just in case you don't know. Alright, a plain spoon. Just get them out, plop them in. I use 2 small ones. I'll show you the jar in a minute. And what you have to do if you don't know. I don't want to be patronising or anything. Right. And they're very briny, so you may not need to add any salt. And the brine goes right through the lemon and it makes them soft. I just rinse them, but you can't get rid of the briny flavour. That's probably part of their appeal, because it soaks right through the lemon. So I just gave them a quick rinse. Alright, now the prunes. I bought these ones, Whitworth's, good company. And these are little prunes, so you don't have to cut them up. How do I do it without getting... I don't want sauce in my prunes. In my prune packet, I mean. Is that enough? I'm just using my eye. I don't want too many prunes in there. I think that's enough. How many did I use? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I used about 10, and they're quite small. You can use less. I don't think you should use too many though, then it'll just be too sweet. What else? That's it for now. I'll just tell you about the lemons and then I'm going to pause the video. Can't believe that's all there is to it. Yeah, that's it. That's basically it. Just has to simmer now. And I'll put some ground almond pieces on top of it when I'm about to serve it. Or, yeah, I'm not sure. I might sprinkle them on before I reheat it for our dinner, because this is our dinner. So I'll just probably show you the packet, because I want them to be crunchy. Right, put the lid on. Turn it down a bit. I know my cooker. I'm glad you can't see the knobs, because it's nearly on 0. It's still bubbling away like anything. Yeah. It's like on off at the moment, but it's still on. It's ridiculous. Okay, just have a look. I keep my eye on that. It's very thick. That tomato puree has made it very thick. So you've really got to keep your eye on it. It doesn't start sticking. So I'll be checking it every 15 to 20 minutes. It says check every 15 to 20 minutes. So it's not going to give me a lot of time to do other things, is it? Alright, I'll tell you about the lemons and then I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to put it on the timer. Right, I have to wait a minute. And then put it on for about 2 hours. Alright, just going to put the timer on now. I'll do it for 1 hour, and when it goes off I'll put it on for another hour. I know I could look at the clock, but I'm so forgetful, I forget. Alright then, these lemons, yeah. This is the only brand I could get in my local supermarket. Odyssey is the brand, and they're preserved Beldy lemons. An intense citrus flavour. And that's how small they are. They're small. I only used 2. I thought that was plenty. So they last 4 weeks in the fridge. So that means I might have to have Tagine, a Tagine every week now. But I don't mind because I like Tagine. Alright, that's what they look like. What you do is you can rinse them if you want, but or dry them, doesn't matter. You don't have to do anything with them really. But you have to cut them in half, and with a teaspoon that's quite pointy, I'll give you an example. If I can find one. Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter if you haven't got a pointy teaspoon. But I use that one. Oops. Dripping everywhere. See, it's got a pointed end, and I use that to get out the pulp and the seeds. So all you use is the skin, and you cut that up into little slithers. I'm not sure, but I think some people might just use them whole, but I'm not an expert on preserved lemons. I think I've used them only twice before. Quite a long time ago, but I think you can make drinks from them and you can put them in salads, but I'm not an authority on them, so I'm going to find out if I can make a drink, because I don't want to waste them because they're quite pricey. These were only £2.50, and a lot of people saying, oh, that's a lot of money, but that was with my Sainsbury's Nectar card. They're usually more than £3, so I don't really want to waste them. Don't like waste. Right, put them back in the fridge. Just before I go, I'm going to show this salad, you've got an East European shop where you live. It says Lithuanian. Rugelis. I think they work at the back of the shop. People that make these salads, they make lovely salads. And this is beetroot salad, and it's delicious. It's much better than Sainsbury's beetroot salad. But if you've got an East European shop, especially one that does a lot of Lithuanian food, because this is Lithuanian, try and get one of these. Delicious. It's got beetroot in it, mayonnaise, peas, pickled cucumbers, onion, salt, spices, pepper, egg yolk powder, and potato starch, rapeseed oil, and herbs. If you're not if you're a vegan, you can't eat that, unfortunately. Vegetarian would be able to eat that though. Alright, delicious. Just if you're, especially if you're an English person and just only eat English food, or so-called English food, like pizza, ha ha. Try and go to an East European shop. Polish shops don't make salad like this. But East European shop usually means Lithuanian. So try and get hold of one of these. That is quite pricey at £4.39. So it's a treat. Alright. That's enough of my monotonous voice. I'm going to pause the video. And when I come back, it'll just be like that. I'm back. Like I never went away. Alright, I'm going to pause it and make sure I don't stop it. Hello, I'm back. It's on 41 minutes, but to me it looks nearly done. It's been bubbling away for over an hour and 20 minutes. It looks ready. It looks cooked. But I'm going to reduce it a little bit, so I've taken the lid off. But I have to keep my eye on it. I'll cook it for about another 10 minutes or something. And I'll show you what it looks like. It looks more or less the same as it did when I paused my video. Put this down. Now, yes, it's a nice orangey red colour. I lift it up. There. Looks alright, doesn't it? I'm just going to shut the door. Yeah, because the man is on the phone and he talks quite loudly. It's a bit off-putting. The prunes are actually falling apart. You know, it's been in there so long. Alright, so I'm just reducing it. It's too early for our dinner, so I'll just reheat it. And I'm going to serve it with that. You just add boiling water to it and it serves 2 people. Coriander and lemon. Now for garnish, you can use parsley or coriander. But I thought that's got coriander in it, so I don't want coriander overload. And the packaged herbs in most supermarkets are shoddy. I did grow some herbs in the summer, but it didn't do very well. I haven't got green fingers or green thumb, whatever you call it. Alright, so what I'm going to do, when it's cooked and I'm just about to dish it up, actually I'll probably put it in a bowl so the man can help himself. He might not want chopped almonds on it, but I'm going to put it in a bowl and we can sprinkle it on. And that's more or less it. This is, I know, it's not a real tagine, because a real tagine would be made in a tagine. So this is a variation of tagine. Very quick to make. Not a lot of ingredients. And it smells very aromatic and lovely. So I'll just put the camera up again so you can see my beautiful face. There. Can you see my earrings? Maybe not. And my hair, even though it's long, I'm going to have it cut by the way, even though at some point, even though it's long, it keeps ending up over a shoulder. And it winds me up. My hair is everywhere. In the whole house, it's everywhere. It breaks off at the top. That's why I've always got these clips in, because it just breaks off, even at the top. And I thought I'll weigh my hair down by putting, oh, I can't get too near the camera, it's right near the cooking pot. I put another band on, hairband, I think that's what they're called. And I got a little doll here, which I showed you in one of my videos, to weigh down the ponytail. Obviously I won't go out with that doll hanging off my hair. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, my hair really gets on my nerves. I'm going to have it short with a fringe, like I used to. Yeah, I know I look a bit, I don't like the word mannish, but a bit boyish, I'd say. So, when I've got short hair, I always wear long dangly earrings. So, I'm getting used to putting my earrings in a lot now, so the holes don't close up. And I wear really big, like big, you know, big hoops or long dangly things, so people know that I'm a female. Well, they'll probably know by looking at my figure. Alright then, yeah, which is a bit fat. They might think I'm a fat boy. Alright then, you can make this if you want. In the comment section, I'll let you know what it tasted like. Or I might just not bother. But I know it's going to taste nice. Alright then. Oh, and the tomato puree does thicken it up really well. So you've got to keep an eye on it that it doesn't stick. Like every 15 minutes, every 15 to 20 minutes. It's starting to stick a little bit now already. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be nice. I'll let you know anyway. I can always write it in the comments section anyway. Oh, did I say anyway about 100 times just then? Alright, I better end this video now. Alright. Goodbye and see you again soon. I'm going to try and make something exciting next time. A bit more exciting than this. Something unusual. Alright then. Bye.